Let me introduce myself. I'm Pinel. I am the technical developer for Radical Bowling Technologies, and we're going to begin a series of technical videos to show how to use Radical balls to produce an arsenal that will cover all possible lane conditions. We are at Bowler's Edge Pro Shop in Norfolk, Virginia, a place where we do lots of our testing. So if we're going to build the arsenal, we're going to start with two very unique products that are part of the Radical line. We have the Fix, which we introduced in October, which is the most versatile ball in the history of bowling and the biggest development in technology in 2 decades. We are adding this month the Cash. The Cash was given a 64.5 hook rating by the Bowler's Journal and is the biggest hooking ball of all time. So we have 2 layouts on the Fix and a Cash to begin our arsenal. And we will enhance the arsenal as we add balls to this. So let's take a look at the layouts. This Fix is a pin down layout, so it is symmetrical, B as in boy. This Fix has a pin up layout, so it is asymmetrical, D, because it has a motion hole in it. And the Cash, which we added, is 85 by 3 3/4 by 30. That's a layout that will get the ball down the lane and hook it. This does not have a balance hole. This one does not have a balance hole, but the asymmetrical D has a motion hole, which is on the bottom of the ball. So what we're going to start out by doing today is we're going to take these 3 balls out on the lane and see how different they are when we line up with them. After we do that, we'll come back in here and we will then add other balls to the arsenal to increase the total versatility of the arsenal so that it will work for every lane condition we can run into. We're going to use Gary Faulkner as a tester today, or as a demonstrator, and he is going to use his release that makes him matched with speed and rev rate. So we call that a matched delivery. Those are his specs. We'll start out with 2 Fixes and 1 Cash. Come on, let's go to the lanes and see what they do. Hey, that was pretty impressive to look at these 3 balls on the lanes. You saw that this was our most hooking ball, and Gary's feet were about 5 boards further right when he threw the motion hold Fix, and then another 4 or 5 boards right when he threw the pin down Fix. This is the symmetrical B and this is the asymmetrical D. So we've seen those 3 balls on the lane. Now we're going to add 2 balls to the arsenal that'll show us how we can get Radical balls to work on more hooking lane conditions and on lane conditions after they've been bowled on for a while. We're going to use the Xeno Pearl, which is our latest ball, and we're going to use a Guru Limited that we have a special layout on to take some of the snap out of the ball. The Xeno Pearl, pin just above the ring finger, is drilled 60 by 4 1/4 by 40. Not the 3 3/4. It's going to be a little bit tamed down, just a bit. But we're going to add also the Limited. Now the Limited has our control layout, which is in the drilling instructions, which is a 70 by 5 by 75. So that's a pin down Guru Limited and a Xeno Pearl. Now let's go out on the lanes and watch those 2 balls roll, and we'll see how much we've increased our versatility by these 5 Radical balls. Let's take the time to go to the lanes. Well, you saw those other two balls roll. So now we've increased our versatility by Gary being able to stand 15 boards, 20 boards different with his feet in order to play with those 5 balls. So we still want to do some things and show you some changing in shape on the breakpoint that we can accomplish. So we're going to add 2 more balls to make it a 7-ball arsenal. So you notice that arsenals can be anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9 balls based on how you pick from where they sit in the ball reaction guide. Okay? The first one we're adding is the Jackpot Solid. The Jackpot Solid is our benchmark symmetrical ball. What do we mean by benchmark symmetrical ball? This is a very smooth reacting ball and reads the lane true. So when you throw this, when you start bowling, it'll tell you exactly how your pattern is reacting. Whether you've got a lot of skid snap, or whether you have a smooth pattern, or whether you have a heavy oil pattern. So this is our benchmark ball. But we're also going to add another Guru Limited to put a ball in between the gap we have here. This Guru Limited is drilled with Gary's favorite layout, pin up at 70 by 3 3/4 by 30. This is his base layout when he throws new balls that come from the company, because he can then tell where they stand in relation to the other balls. And the Jackpot Solid is drilled identical. This is his benchmark ball. This is a ball that's going to fit in here, give him a little harder back end reaction, but less hook than either of his 2 fixes. So that's where we are now. We're adding those 2 balls, and this will put us up to 7 balls in our arsenal. So let's go back out to the lanes and let's see where these 2 balls fit in our arsenal. So that's 7 balls. We're really starting to get versatile now. Now you've seen a 7-ball radical arsenal when we added the Jackpot Solid and the Pin-Up Guru Limited. But sometimes we like to do special things. And the special thing we're going to do here to show you how to carry, and a little trick that we're finding out we can do a lot of with these modern bowling balls, is we're going to introduce another cache into the lineup. But this cache is drilled not to hook, but to still roll just as hard and hit just as hard as the pins. So this ball will allow us, when this cache, if we're using it, is hooking too much as the night goes on or as your lane condition breaks down and you want a big ball in your hand but you don't want to hook it a lot, let's look at our cache layout. There's our cache. That's a 100 by 1 3/4 by 45. So there's no balance hole. The pin is close to the positive axis point, which means we're going to get very little flare in the front of the lane, but still get this big ball to do its damage to the pins. This is what we're starting to do a lot of when we build arsenals. What happens when the lane breaks down and I don't want to go to a weaker ball to lose carry? Go to a less hooking version of your strong ball, and you do that by placing the pin closer to the positive axis point. In this case, we did a 1 3/4 pin. So Gary's going to show you how this ball will go straighter than the cache drilled to hook. In fact, his feet will be 13 boards further right with this cache than it was with that one, even though they have the same layout. Excuse me, that's not the same layout, even though they have the same surface. The surface is monstrous, the core is monstrous, but we've decreased the flare on this ball so that he can play straighter through the front and not have to go to a less dynamic core. So that's what we're going to do with the cache. We have our 7-ball arsenal with our specialty layout. Let's go see what the specialty layout is compared to the original cache. Well, you've seen how we can take the same ball with the same surface and change the layout to reduce the amount of hook by 13 boards. That's a good trick when you want to use your big ball and continue to carry. So you've seen the entire arsenal of bowling balls. What we're going to put up in front of you now on the camera is we're going to show you all 7 balls in our regular arsenal in the order in which they hook. We will start with the least hooking, and then we'll go to the Jackpot Solid, the Xeno Pearl, the second Guru Limited, the pin down fix, the pin up fix, the big ball cash. So, pin down Limited, pin up Jackpot Solid, pin up Xeno Pearl, pin up Guru Limited, pin down fix, motion hold fix, big hooking ball, no balance hole, and that is what our 7 ball arsenal is like. After we show you all 7 balls next to each other, we're going to go back through and show you each one of the balls with a piece of white tape on the pin, just to show you how the core motion is different on all these different balls. It gets very interesting. So you'll see 7 balls, then we'll run the video with from the arrows to the pins with tape on the pin of the ball to show you how the core migration affects the ball motion. 7 balls in a regular arsenal, specialty ball for carry. You really got it going now, and it happens for you with Radical.